Hi, I'm Evelyn and I'm so glad we've met right here. Today I want to share one of my approaches with you. It's time-tested and helps me stay calm even when there's too much information all around. This isn't magic or a guessing game. It's a clear system that helps you calmly understand the situation and make decisions without unnecessary stress. When I was just starting out, everything looked like total chaos. Streams of data, confusing terms, conflicting advice. What I really needed back then was a simple, friendly explanation to break everything down and keep me from drowning in the noise. Now I try to be that guide for others, to make it clear where to look, what to consider, and what you can set aside for now to save your energy. If you are interested in learning how to approach this topic calmly and consciously, stick around. We'll break everything down with real examples. Do you know what many people say just a couple of weeks after joining my community? It turns out you can do this without constant stress. That's exactly what I wanted to create. An environment where you don't have to guess, panic, or rush. You move at your own pace, watch how I work in real time, and understand every decision. I always explain what is happening on the chart and why. And I'm always available if something isn't clear. Want to see it all from the inside? Click the link in the description or in the first pinned comment. You can just observe and take your first step. Alright, I've got almost everything set up for today's session. I've selected the pairs and tools I'll be working with, Zigzag and Stochastic. They help me read the chart more clearly. Zigzag highlights key reversal points and filters out noise, while the Stochastic indicates moments when the market might be overheated or weakened. Together, they provide a cleaner view for analysis. Alright, let's begin. Here we go. Alright, looking at the first pair, I noticed that after a climb, there has been a gradual weakening. One of the indicators suggests a trend reversal. The lines have crossed and are now moving downward. Plus, the chart shows a downward move that overtook the previous upward leg, often an early sign of a sentiment shift. Based on these factors, I decided to go short. Great, let's keep going. I see the overall trend is still upward. There has been a pause and a small pullback within this trend. Below the current levels, there is a zone that has seen multiple reactions. Price hasn't been allowed to drop below. Stochastic is low and starting to turn upward. The lines are converging and shifting direction. This could be an early sign of a return to the main upward move. Based on that, I'm going long. So far, everything's logical, no emotions, and that's important. Let's see what we have here. I notice a zone where the price has reversed twice at the same level. The chart pattern resembles a double top, a classic formation that often signals a reversal. Looking at the Stochastic, the second touch of this zone shows lower peak values than the first. This divergence can signal weakening momentum. After a strong downward move appears, I decide to go short. Alright team, let's keep the momentum moving forward. Checking this one out. After a strong decline, I see a shift forming on the indicator. The first sign of a potential reversal appears, followed by a price shape with a noticeable lower wick. That may suggest the downward pressure is weakening. Based on that, I anticipate a possible move up. Let's stay sharp and keep the pace up. Alright, looking at this pair. I spot a divergence between the tool's direction and the chart's behavior. One indicator marks a top, but the other doesn't confirm it. Also, the oscillator line moved beyond the upper limit and has started to turn. A confident move downward is forming, and I decide to follow it. Nice, let's keep going, team. When I was just starting to figure this field out, what I wanted most was to get even a small peek behind the scenes at how those who were already acting with confidence did it, to understand their thought process, see the decisions they made, and figure out what was truly important versus what could be set aside for later. Now, in my community, I offer that exact opportunity. We analyze real situations together in a simple, live dialogue format. No dry lectures or fake seriousness, just clear examples and practical explanations. This approach helps you gradually build your own understanding without getting overwhelmed. You can just drop in and observe how everything works, even if you used to think this isn't for me. It will be easy and comfortable to get involved. The link is in the description and in the first pinned comment. If you feel like this is for you, join right now. And now let's get to the practical part. Let's stop right here. I see the move continues to follow a downward trajectory, confirmed by a new low on one of the indicators. Then a pullback begins, during which the other indicator breaks above the upper range. The chart returns to a previously marked zone. Considering this behavior, I expect the current trend to continue and open a trade in the same direction. Great when actions start to feel intuitive, but never switch off your brain. Let's keep going. Let's check this one. I see the price has been moving sideways in a range near a key area. Meanwhile, one of the indicators has been sitting in the upper zone for a while. When price breaks out above the marked level, the indicator pushes even higher into a zone that often signals overheating. Considering all this, I assume the breakout may not last. I go short. That one wasn't easy, but it played out well. Moving on, I noticed one of the indicators has stayed in the overbought area for a long time, a spot where reversals often occur. A pattern is forming on the chart that hints at weakening upward momentum. Then I see the indicators start to turn. That could be a sign of a shift. I choose to go short. Alright friends, let's do a couple more. Let's go here. I see we are approaching a key zone that's influenced price before. This moment, one of the indicators is deep in its lower range and starts turning upward. This kind of setup often becomes the starting point for an upward move. And now let's wrap things up. Okay, as expected, price dipped a bit, but the overall trend remains upward. I notice it approaching a key zone that has previously influenced behavior. The indicator is in the lower part of the range and starts to reverse. It fits the model I had in mind, so I decide to go long. Perfect! That brought a whole new energy to the session. Sometimes, to finally get unstuck, all you need is to see that there's another way, a calmer, clearer way without all the chaos. If you're tired of going in circles and want to try a format where there is a clear structure, understandable logic, and support by your side, maybe this is that moment. In my community, we work with real situations, break them down step by step, and look at everything without unnecessary theory. I share my experience and observations in a way that's simple to understand and easy to apply. Check out the link in the description or in the first pinned comment. You can just take a look from the inside and get a feel for whether this format is right for you. Thanks for being here. Remember, one small step can lead to big changes. Bye for now. See you in the community.